how did it start for you?
Um, well, young lad, I just went to the speedway, and early days, dad was racing a street stop. Um, don't really remember too much of it. But then got involved with Malcolm Jones. He basically gave us a way in with driving their second car early days.
And what was that, junior sedan?
No,
Oh,
that was a wingless sprint. I only started when I was 22 or 21 or something, so.
yeah, right. So you didn't race anything
Nothing
prior
at
to
all.
that?
No, mum, dad, I'm one of five, so
Yeah.
dad always said if you want to go do it, you're gonna have to do it yourself. All he can give me is time. He can't give me any money, so I had to wait until I had a job and somewhat got my life in some sort of order before I could go and buy a race car or go and drive somebody else's. So
Yeah, right. So full late bloomer.
yeah, definitely a late bloomer. Like I said, I remember when I was probably 14, 13, 14. We did um, World Series Speed Week, and then picked up on Bacchus Marsh when they had I think it was 50 grand a win show. That was dusty as all. And then, Mildura, McCrew, Chief, actually, Brett, him and his old man, we went for a drive and camped and watched some racing. And then, as years progressed, always used to go to the Classic and over here for World Series, Boxing Day down in Adelaide. And just was always at the track when things were on. And then later on, um, helping out on the crane with Dad at Murray Bridge here for most of the shows before we jumped in and decided, bugger it, we're gonna have a shot.
Yeah, right. So how'd you put the first deal together?
Basically, I just gave the Darlets racing team a bit of a hand. It's racing, and Malcolm Jones, he sort of said, "Well, we're building a new car. Do you want to jump in the old one and have a steer and see how you go?" Sort of, yeah, right. Didn't expect that straight off the bat, and it's only after sort of a season helping him out a bit, and it was a tough year, definitely. Like the season was not good to us. We bent a lot of stuff, but it bit me, and here we are now.
So would you first jump in at like a sponsors day or something like that,
Well,
or
it was actually I don't know how we got the track, but the track was unprepped. It was dusty. It was dirty. It was just you know rolled up to Murray Bridge and rolled off the trailer and um, yeah, boys, go out and cut some laps and yeah, I don't know how many laps we did that day, but it wasn't too many. And then I was like, oh, here you go, we're going racing.
so like you like at least reasonable in your first outing, or
No, oh shit, just like everybody is, like I don't know where I started. Well, obviously I started off the back, but don't know where I finished. In the first season I raced, I destroyed front ends, diffs, rolled the car twice, and all sorts of stuff. It wasn't smooth sailing by any means, and you know, small fortune later we're still going. So got picked up a couple of nice sponsors that stuck with us the whole time, and managed to make it all work.
so how long were you racing the wingless for?
Oh, geez. 5, 6 years, I think it was.
Before
Six,
stepping
seven.
into
Yeah,
speedcar?
so sort of had a season off, I think, from memory between the wingless and the speaker. Just sort of went, bugger it, I'm going to do it. In between the wingless and the speaker, I bought a sprint car roller and an engine, and then went, bugger it, I'm going to buy a speaker and go race that. I don't particularly want to go sprint car racing at this point in time, and yeah, here we are today with a nice car sitting behind us.
So how'd you put this one together, and how'd you get?
Um, so it was actually Stephen Dillon's old car that I bought, which was a Breca Fontana. Lee Dillon drove it, Michael Stewart drove it for a few years there, and it was a local car, and I had a look at a couple of others. You know, they're all expensive, but not too badly priced. Went down and had a look at and met with Stephen and came to a deal. And next, I think it was a week and a half later or something like that, I was on the track. So yeah,
At a meeting or
at a
just
meeting,
at a
yeah,
meeting?
at a meeting, yeah, it's
Yeah, right.
Murray Bridge. Yeah, it was quite fast actually from buying the car to jumping in it basically. So
Was that a big jump going? Well, yeah, obviously it is horsepower wise and everything like that, but a big
oh,
jump, like learning curve going wingless to speed car?
oh definitely. I was fortunate enough. I can't remember how many years before I bought the speed car, I jumped in Brett Olin's Triple X with the S-Slinger and a EFI S-Slinger, and we did a couple of practice laps around Murray Bridge. And that thing's easy to drive. Like, it's smooth, it's nice. It responds, it does everything that you sort of want it to do. And then jump into something that's push rod with bigger injection, bigger cubes and bigger cam. You jump on it and you know about it, and then you back out of it and you know about that too. And you just got to find a happy medium of keeping your foot smooth to be able to make it all work.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that like you didn't race anything like at all to get to where you're at now. Like
No, just
just
a couple of
you've had to learn throttle control, everything like
yeah,
that the hard way.
the hard way, yeah, definitely. A couple of shenanigans early on in the days out in a mate's paddock, getting the car bogged when we're doing donuts and, silly stuff. But yeah, no, we started late and like I said, had to put the deal together myself with a few helping hands and yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah, right. So what's the plans moving forward now? I mean, you currently race speed car, sprint car occasionally, and then wingless as well.
Yeah, just one or two laps.
So where you get, what's the plans next season?
So speed cars obviously the main focus, always probably will be unless, I get an opportunity to race a half decent sprint car or something like that, or who knows what will happen. But yeah, so Perth for the Australian title in the speed car this season coming up. We've got the Speed Week, Speed car Pro Speed Week in start of January. That's coming up. Not sure how far we're going to travel this season so far, but get all the dates and we'll run it around and see what we can do.
Yeah, you'd assume that there'll be like the 50 lapper in Eastern Creek and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. That they're pretty well. You hope that they're mainstay events.
well, you'd think so. Obviously it depends on what happens up there. I think they've buttoned off a couple of shows, which might prolong the life of the speed cars up there,
Yeah,
seeing it's such a big and demanding track. Um,
you'd assume that there's a couple of shows in Perth
yeah,
before the Australian
well,
title or something
um,
like that.
I'm pretty sure the Wednesday before, which is usually their practice night anyway, they're going to put on a race meeting for the speed cars and have a support class there. But for a decent prize money, we'll be across there for that. I'm not sure if the week before there's something as well, but we'll have a look at the dates and what's happening and go from there. And then obviously after that, um, that's going to be start of March, I think, from memory. We get back to Murray Bridge for the state title and the 50 lapper here.
Are they doing the 50 lapper again? Are they?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Has that news broken yet? Or
I'm pretty sure I was out on the website. But who cares if not?
we'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
But
Whether I don't know if the payouts the same or anything like that, but from what I gather, I think it's going again.
oh, yeah, cool. So you're not really a stranger to travel though. You've been over New Zealand
Yeah,
before.
we were fortunate enough, early days racing the speedcar to get across there and run a few tracks over there. We weren't very good by any means. We were pretty average, but we still managed to get around and make a couple of shows and have some fun.
Yeah. So you put the a container together to go over there?
No, so Coops and BSL sort of come together and got it happening to get the cars across there. There's who else was there? There's four of us, I think, or three of us went across to race, and yeah, it was all good fun.
Yeah, right. Do and you enjoyed it over there? Like, it's
Oh,
midgets
just
is so hectic over there.
oh, you credit to them. Like racing on those tracks is just unbelievable, and the crowds and the bump and runs and everything like that you got to do to make it all work over there. And you're racing against the calibers of Christopher Bells and Kyle Larson's. Tyler Courtney was another one there, and also Chris Windham. Like no room for error.
Just a few good guys.
Just a few good guys, let
Yeah,
alone the Michael Pickenses and Hayden Williams and Hodgie and all them
yeah.
boys as well. Like you know it's sort of dumbfounding that you actually managed to go do that, and you raced against them. Doesn't mean you're any good at it, but you still raced
He's
against them.
still there. So you spent a bit of time in America as well?
Yeah, I've been three times I think now. You know, picked up a couple of Knoxville shows or Knoxville Nationals, two of them. Then the last time I was over there, I was helping out Alex Bright with you know midget week, and then across to PA and had a look at sprint week, and yeah, picked up
Yeah,
Indy 500. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And
it's pretty
yeah,
cool how they run off the back of each other
oh,
over there.
it's crazy. Like you got the little Indy 500, and then you got Indy 500, and then midget week, and then the list keeps going on. Outlaws in there as well, and down at Lawrenceburg, and it's just crazy. You go spend a month in Indy, and you can pick up racing left, right, and center.
Yeah, yeah. It's a totally different like world over there, isn't it?
Oh, like racing's basically every night apart from Wednesday night most of the time. Like it's just which way do you want to travel?
Yeah, yeah. It's the central sort of hub for it, isn't it?
It
But
is, like you got Ohio just alongside of it one way, and Illinois the other way. I think it is. Yeah.
yeah. So did you get the little 500, like the pavement?
No, I didn't end up getting there, unfortunately. But it's one thing I want to try and get back across and have a look at. But
It's pretty wild, eh?
yeah, I think
Because
so.
it's like the one sort of like, well, I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, it's like the one pavement sprint car race that has pit stops.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
just throws all that sort of extra
yep.
gear into it, and
Just
yeah,
you think about it and you go, well, they've still got no gears, so they still need to be push started after they do
yeah,
that stop, and it's like, well, hang on.
yeah. You see the guys like they call the truck and like
Mm,
they got to find a truck to come get it and
yeah,
stuff like yeah. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty funny too how some of those guys the way that they like refuel them and stuff
yeah,
too. Like
yeah. Hey, you got to take most precautions that you can, but even still, like,
yeah, I seen this year. There's a lot of guys went back to just jugs.
jugs, yep,
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's just
faster,
it won't just as fast. And it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I thought, well,
yep,
some guys have got the big fueling rigs and stuff
yep.
like that. But yeah, that's a pretty like crazy event in itself.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely want to go back there again and check out that. I was fortunate enough to go see Belclair when that was happening. Hopefully, they get that up and running again. It's just all those things that you want to go back and just check out again.
Yeah,
Missed out on Macon. Ended up going across to the I think it was a Dream late model show over at Eldora.
yeah,
One of them anyway. Well, 100 was a Dream. I think it was a Dream. But
that's a big party.
oh man, that is a huge
That's
party.
I don't think like late model people would know, but if you're
Mm,
not into late models, you don't think you understand how
no,
big a party
no, that's right.
that is. Like, yeah,
It is crazy, and you watch the greatest of all time. Bloomquist come from I don't know where he was starting, but come through and before halfway through the race, he was basically leading it, and then just sat there and won won the show. And it was just crazy. You don't understand the track until you get there. That you can walk up to the inside Armaco, stick your head through this little camera hole, and the cars are just right there.
yeah. Is it as banked as it look
Yeah,
in real life?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely banked.
yeah,
So no, it's cool. It's obviously a bucket list for a lot of people out in the world. Like, it's definitely one you got to go see.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely like, I want to go there, but after seeing probably the shenanigans that goes on with the dream, I think that might be that might be.
You just get rid of those shenanigans. You just go have some fun. You
Yeah.
get up in the bleachers or go into the pits, and you just enjoy yourself.
Did you go through the tunnel of love?
Yeah, just went through the tunnel of love.
Have to, don't you?
Yeah, you sort of have to.
Yeah,
But yeah, hey, the only way you can get to the infield, really. So
yeah. What was your like favorite track over there?
um, they've all got their merits. Like Belclair for midgets. Oh, Jesus. Like that's just a badass bull ring.
Yeah,
And yeah, sprint cars over in PA. Grandview was pretty cool. Um, yeah, they've all got their things.
Yeah. Did you go to Williams Grove?
Yeah, went to
Yeah.
Williams Grove.
Yeah.
Grove, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Um, that's you just can't sort of comprehend the speeds and stuff like that on TV, or until you stand there on the back straight, or if you're lucky enough to get across to the pits on the front straight, and you just stand there and you go, well, shit, like, well, got the right front wheel hiking up in the air, and
Yeah. It's crazy,
it's
isn't it?
going.
Yeah. And then late in the night, you know they're going fast with the vapor trails and stuff
Yeah,
like that too.
yeah,
Like that's
definitely.
going the whole length of the straight
Yep.
kind of thing. So, yeah, it's definitely. So you want to get back over there and race yourself?
Oh, I'd love to, but obviously the dollar's no good, and
Yeah.
COVID sort of stuffed everything for everybody. So the main reason I bought my sprint car was to go non-wing racing over there. I was going to put it in the container and ship it across there and go have some fun. But you know, everything sort of slowed up on that aspect, and I got a sprint car together and thought, well, I want to see if it runs first of all and put it on the track.
Yeah. So that's where you want to get to though, is like
Definitely,
non-wing
yeah, yeah,
sprint car stuff.
yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Wings are good, it's a little bit more expensive, really fast, but just the fact that not as much aero plays a part of it, and you can basically race them following each other without having to worry about the dirty air that you get, and less maintenance and all that sort of stuff. That's where you want to be, I reckon.
Yeah. The racing's hectic
Oh
too.
yeah,
Like,
you go to a small track or something like that with them, and it's just elbows up. And
yeah.
one thing you got to give them though is they race with respect. Like barely ever you see someone get fed a wheel or feed a wheel. So
Yeah. The one thing that I always find crazy with them is the amount of like not position but like pole changes that you can see
mm,
in a race. Like you see a guy's bring run to fifth and he'll just all of a sudden just shoot to first and then
big
like
filthy slider and
yeah,
yeah,
like it's just you
yeah,
sort of don't really see that like in wing stuff or very rarely do you
yeah.
see it.
You, most of the wing stuff that's televised and stuff like that is outlaws. So you know that the front guy, well, the outlaws are going to be fast.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, they've all got very similar gear, as in horsepower ratings and that sort of stuff, and the best of the best, and they're all going to be around the mark. So
Yeah.
you don't expect someone to gain that much in that sort of aspect, and with the wings and the arrows and stuff like that. In saying that, when first went to the first Knockdoor I went to, I reckon I saw Donny come from the C main or something like that and come to second. And he only came second because his engine stumbled across the line, and Shaver picked up the win. So like, it's just yeah,
Still doable.
it's still doable, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's
those
just
those
crazy.
days are sort of starting to get few and far between. So
Yes and no. Like I think you still got your good drivers out there, and you still got drivers coming through like your Ryan Timms and stuff like that. They're only just beginning, Buddy Kofords and stuff like that. Yeah, they've been awesome in midgets, but they're just starting to get their head around the wings and stuff like that. And well, mind you, Buddy's been racing wings for years, and they get to start at
yeah,
what
it's only like 23
12,
or something.
12 years old, or
Yeah,
something stupid like that. Whereas we got to wait until we're 16.
yeah, yeah. He's probably. I'm just thinking about like how many shows someone like him's already ran in his career,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he's only like 23 as
something
well.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was here when he was 19, I think.
for the Downing brothers. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
so like, that might have been 5 years ago. Might in that
It
sort
was
of
before he picked up the ride with Keith Coons, I reckon.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, actually, was yeah,
mm.
because I remember like he sort of wasn't really
No
like
one like
yeah, he wasn't. He was
yeah,
sort of starting to come through, and then
yep,
obviously like Keith just put him on the map, and he's
yep.
where he's at now. But yeah, so he's still so young into his career.
Oh,
Like
super young, and you look at the older gentlemen, I should call them, if you can say that, of the class, you still got Brooke Tatnells and stuff like that running around, and they're pushing the hill pretty hard, so that's a lot of racing you can get done.
yeah, he'd surely you'd have like another 20 years ahead of him
Oh,
racing or something like that. Easy.
30,
Yeah,
30,
yeah,
plus,
yeah.
so
Bastard.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Hey, he's got the skills to do it, so good luck to him.
yeah. So it's not off the cards going over there yet? You're
No,
not
you know,
not crossing it out yet?
I've got to stop spending money and start saving to be able to make it happen. You know, there are avenues over there to lease rides and stuff like that, but one day, we'll see.
Yeah. So what's the draw card for yourself with the non-wing stuff?
Um, just how good the racing looks. Like you jump into a speedcar with a good field, and the racing is just unreal. You can slide two people at once and then get slid back. And just chop and change positions like nobody's business. You go to a you know Lawrenceburg or something like that in a non-wing, you can Kokomo even. You can do that in something with a lot more horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's just,
definitely. Yeah. It's definitely my favorite form of speedway,
yeah,
the non-wing stuff. Yeah.
and that's I guess it's more of a traditional sort of racing, I reckon, more so than your wings. Um, the wings enhance everything, as in the speed, the handling, and everything like that. You can get around the track faster and stick to the track basically. Whereas if you run on a non-wing and you got no aero, well then you're going to be sliding around a bit and having a bit of fun.
So, how was your first time in the sprint car?
Racing or time of practice now?
Just practicing. I'm
Um,
gonna say practicing by that phase.
yeah, fuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have any turn downs on it, and we were running a bit rich, and yeah, I fired up and did a couple of laps and come and crying my eyes out. But we put a couple of turn downs on it, and got those mixtures right, and yeah, no, we were getting around okay, for a beginner.
Yeah. Did it, like, probably the wrong word, but did it scare you as such, like the power? Like,
No, the power didn't scare me.
no.
The thing that is scary is coming up behind, like getting passed by a car, follow them into a corner, and then turning the wheel and nothing happening. It's like like get on the brake, get it down around, whether it's just because I'm shit or whether it happens, to most people. But yeah, just the dirty air playing havoc on everything is the scariest thing, especially coming in, turn three at Murray Bridge. You're looking at the wall and the pit gate, and you go, well, get around there. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah, interesting. So, just for people who don't understand, can you
Mm.
explain dirty air?
Basically, it's the turbulence behind the car in front of you. Like you got an air pocket behind you that's well, you'll feel it if you drive behind a truck down the freeway or something like. You'll get all squiggly and it won't feel very nice. Very similar effect. You got nothing pushing down on anything, which then makes it hard to drive.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably actually one of the better explanations
Mm,
I've heard of
yeah.
it.
So
A hard thing to get used to.
um, it's just hard. I've done 8 years of 9 years of wingless racing, I think it is now, and well, non-wing racing, call it. And jumping in something with a wing, you go, well, I've got that up there, and I've got to put confidence in it. Turning it into a corner on time trials, and you go, don't back off, don't back off, don't back off, and you get it in there, and you turn the wheel too far, and you like jammed it down on the left rear, and well, lost all my speed there. It's hard to get your head around it a little bit, but once you sort of get it all flowing, it all works.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I still can't believe that you didn't race anything as a
Oh,
kid.
hey,
You got in so late. Like,
you got to do what you got to do, and it was something that I'll be a mechanic and stuff like that. Motorsports has always sort of been there, and speedway's just kilometre down the road. Well, not even a k down the road from my house. So it's like, well, that's what we're gonna go do, I reckon.
yeah, that's almost that's sort of the way a lot of Americans have
Yeah,
it too. So, well, some just run their local track. They
yeah.
don't race anywhere else. Like,
Some guys haven't even left their county, so
yeah,
like,
I was actually talking to a guy the other day. He was saying that a person he knows in Texas has ran the same track for 22 years, has
yep,
never ran another track in 22 years.
yep.
Because it's like from his house to that track's like three doors away, three turns away, and they're at the track. And
That's
it's
right.
like,
Yeah, well, the last time I went over there, I picked up the hire car with like 53 miles on it. Whereas turned it back there with 8,800 miles. I was speaking to people in diners and at the tracks and how far you gone? Where have you been? We haven't even left our state, let alone.
Yeah, right.
I think I can't remember how many states I've picked up and went through and stuff like that, but it was just unreal. Like they just don't want to go anywhere. It's like, no, we're happy here.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Yeah, that's I don't
It's
know.
hard to believe, you got that
Yeah,
all that area and all those people and stuff like that, and
yeah,
you know, you, you drive, from the north to the south, and the scenery changes so many times, and you go from hills to flats to hills to,
yeah. Because the
yeah,
country's like as big as Australia, but they've got stuff in the middle of it,
yeah,
unlike ours.
that's right. Like
We got nothing.
the population, it's massive, and they build Vegas in the middle of a desert for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So you're gonna try and get back over, even just in a like
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah,
touristy
yeah,
spectator form, or
definitely, I'd love to, but obviously funds permitting, and you know, we're not all made of money and can't all just go at a drop of a hat sometimes. So, yeah, I would love to get back there, but time will tell.
yeah, yeah. I've never been over there either, so
But you have to be, man.
yeah.
You have to.
I'll find a
Just
way.
do
I'll find a way. See if I can start taxing this gear or something down here.
it. Yeah. Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You need to go interview a few people over in the
yeah, for
States.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the speed car's the priority, but so you raced. I actually, well, before this, I thought that the wingless was yours as well.
No, no. I used to own a chassis, but no. So it's Picture Family Racing. They're kind enough to let me use a wingless well, when it all works out. So yeah, good bunch of family, and we go out and have some fun and see what we can do.
Have you done double duties? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've done speedcar and wingless on one night. I've done sprint car and wingless on one night. The sprint car and wingless on one night was a 60 lapper at Murray Bridge, and there wasn't a race that I didn't miss. So I had to do the heats for this wingless, had to do the B main for the wingless, had to do 60 laps for the wingless, had to do the sprinter time trials heat. I think it was the mid pack dash or last,
yeah,
the losers basically, the back runners, and then the feature, which was 30 laps. I missed out by 2 laps on the end of it. We ran out of fuel, but I think we did like 150 something laps that night.
yeah. Right.
It was cool.
Do you do anything for fitness?
Not
No.
as much as I should. I was fine after the race meeting, but it's all the fuel and reserve that I've got built up over a few years that, but yeah, I've, one thing sort of I haven't really struggled with is some sort of upper fitness, but I'm starting to probably hit the gym again and try and lose a few kegs so we can try and make speedcar go a bit faster.
Yeah, it's definitely like all the other guys I've sort of spoken to. They've like the gym stuff's just sort of changed the game a
Yeah,
lot,
definitely.
especially in sprint car stuff. Like,
Mm.
yeah, the top guys. I'm sure like the top midget guys too are the
Oh,
same. Like,
they got fitness regimes and food, what they can eat and what they can't eat, and they got to stay under a certain weight most of the time. Just like any professional
athlete, yeah,
athlete,
yeah,
weigh themselves before the race meeting, after the race meeting, replenish the fluids they've lost, that sort of crap. So I probably won't go that far, but I'm trying to lose a couple and get a bit fitter and
yeah,
see how we go.
yeah. Do you follow Todd Hobson?
I've followed a little bit of him.
Yeah,
I haven't,
yeah. He put up the other day like a purpose built motorsport gym
Yep,
in Indy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like.
pit fit or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
it's like it makes total sense,
yep,
like especially in that location. But
yep,
yeah, it makes total sense that
definitely.
it's like yeah, it's definitely I don't know, like
Well, they got so your IndyCar teams and stuff like that. They've got purpose curriculum for them, like the
yeah,
crew, to go and do fitness stuff.
yeah,
Like it's not just the driver; it's the crew as well.
yeah. I've seen Christopher Bell post those videos from
Mm.
the NASCAR gym
Yeah,
that team like just. Is it Joe? Is he race? I don't know who he races
Joe
for.
Gibbs,
I
no?
think he races Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs has got like a gym the size of Bunnings,
Yeah,
and it's like just for him. And
yep, just for the team.
it's like, man, it's nuts. Like, it's just total. There's probably some NFL teams that would want to gym that stuff.
Yeah, probably
Like,
definitely.
yeah, it's on that level. But they're they are an athlete no matter what you
Oh,
think. Like just because they're racing a car, it's like,
it's not just the driver, the crew's still athletes as well.
yeah,
Try Jack carrying one of those jugs of fuel around with you, or changing a tire with one hand and using a rattle gun with the other, and
yeah,
it's just what it is.
yeah. There's the intensity of it and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So you think you see some improvements after that? Maybe
Hopefully.
you're pretty, you're pretty down on yourself about.
Ah, I once was 75 or 72 kilos when I started this sort of shenanigans, and then life happens, and you enjoy yourself a bit too much with certain things, and you know, race suits start to get a little bit tighter. But no, we'll hit the gym. We'll make it a good show of it, and get out there again.
Yeah, right. So you looking forward to Pros Speedcar Week?
Definitely, definitely looking
Yeah,
forward to it. It needs to happen. We need to pump our class up a hell of a lot more than it is. We do, unfortunately, do put on some of the good racing, the best racing in Australia, and not many people are there to see it. So, we'll try and get it out to the world at least, and put on what we can do, and hopefully it attracts more people either into the class or to come and watch us.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever been to Portland before?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yep. I think it was the third race meeting in the car when I got it, and I went to Portland,
yeah, right.
smacked the wall in the first heat, I think it was, broke the axle in the second heat, and then I think we finished the feature just. But yeah,
So you haven't been there since the track
not
changes?
no, not since the track renovations.
Yeah,
They look pretty cool. So
yeah. It's definitely yeah.
yep,
So even though I lived in Mount Gambier, I'd
yep.
never been there
Oh really?
until we went there for a prac day, and
Yeah,
then it was pretty funny actually. Like
yeah.
so close for a while, and my mate lives down the road from it as well.
Right.
Never ever went
Crazy.
to racing there, but yeah, and that
They had a bit of a lull patch there where there wasn't too much racing going on, but
yeah, that place. I understood straight away as soon as I walked up to the track and looked at it. I understand why the Formula 500 guys love it.
yeah,
Like it's just
yeah,
sick. Yeah.
definitely. Um,
So yeah,
we
that would be killer for them and for these to go there too.
definitely.
So
We raced a wingless around there as well, and that's good fun on the old track, let alone now. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's a cool little venue.
yeah. So did you like the 3 day stint that happened this year?
Yeah, the what were we, Mount Gambier, Simpson Warrnambool.
Yeah,
It's always good to get 3 race meetings in a short period of time. If everything's going okay, if you bend something, it can be a little bit frustrating. Not so much frustrating, but under the pump to make things happen. But just got to drive to survive and get to the last race meeting and have some fun.
yeah. Hot as balls at Simpson.
Yeah, hey, it always is. But I was surprised at how many flies there weren't this time. So
Yeah, that was so hot.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that was a great event, and what the guys are doing this time around should
yeah,
should be great too.
yep,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, I'm pretty keen for it. Yeah,
I think a lot of people are, and if we can get a couple of guys down from the Sydney and Queensland area, I heard rumors of 3 to 4 cars coming across from the west as well. So it could be quite interesting.
yeah, sick, interesting. I'm hoping that this stuff's all knowledge because if we haven't broken
Mate,
that and Murray Bridge is putting on the 50 lapper, maybe we'll force Murray Bridge to put the 50 lapper on again.
too bad if they don't. It sounds good.
Yeah,
So
that's all right. I'm just checking it out.
yeah, it don't matter. These things happen.
Yeah, I actually don't know. Where did you see a calendar for Murray Bridge?
They haven't put one out yet, but I can't remember where I saw because I'm not. It's been on Facebook. I'm sure of it. That the
Yeah,
state title was the week before the 50 lapper. I reckon it was put up on the 50 lapper page after the last one.
yeah,
I
right.
need to check that out.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we'll see.
I might get phone calls from
Ah,
someone as well.
just tell them
Yeah,
to put it on anyway.
yeah. Well, I hope so because it was definitely a good event, and
Yeah, the weather put a damper on a couple of things, but end of the day, it was still a good event, and still brought some cars to town that we haven't seen down South Australia for years. So
yeah. I think you need to have another crack at the event too. I don't think that you can just be like it.
you
You
can't
know,
be a one-hit wonder. No one's going to come along.
nah,
So,
you've got to.
you got to keep persist for minimum 3 years, and after 3 years, you reassess it and go, well, yeah, that was kind of a flop, or this is gaining momentum, and
Yeah,
yeah, we'll make something out of this.
like all the big events, they've just persisted at it, and it's just gotten bigger and
Yep.
bigger each year. So it's like, yeah, you can't sort of just pull the pin on it that
No,
quick.
no, Harry and Alison have done a good job of trying to make it all happen, and Darren for helping us out, and Ben Goonan, they've all been there in the background making it all sort of works.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Harry and Allison are just champions.
Oh, they're just mad speedcar fanatics, like
Yeah,
what they do for the sport, well, the class, let alone the sport, is just unreal.
yeah, yeah. That should be. Oh man, now I'm keen for 50 laps. If that's not on the calendar or something, or it doesn't go ahead,
Yeah, you can blame me.
yeah,
I'll expect a phone call saying, "You got me all excited for nothing."
yeah. You didn't go up to Eastern Creek's 50 lapper?
No, no, no. We decided that because we did Darwin start of the year
Yeah,
with chariots, we sort of pulled, what what we could do, and sort of went. No, we're going to give sort of the Queensland, New South Wales shows a miss this season, and focus on a couple of things down here. And apart from that, the engine was borderline shouldn't have been running, but we made it. Just
you're not going back to chariots. Oh no, that
no,
not
no
chariots this
speed
year.
cars.
Yeah, yeah,
So no chariots for speed cars, unfortunately. Awesome track, awesome venue. Be amazing if they could have a field of speed cars there for an A main. It just would have been awesome. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and I understand why we're not getting the call back up there again.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna. Well, obviously, too late now for the plan to go up for this year, but yeah, I think I might head up there next year.
You definitely got to do it for a holiday, and go check out 2 weekends of racing. Crowds awesome,
Yeah.
venues awesome.
Once again, shenanigans coming into
Shenanigans are really good. It's good weather for a couple of sherbets and
Yeah,
have some
yeah.
fun.
I'm almost. I don't know. This could end or this could end me here, but I'm thinking about doing that instead of the classic. To be honest, right?
Um, yeah, like each to their own. The classics are a great annual event and everything like that. You just got to pick and choose which one you want to go to, I guess.
Yeah, both. Why not?
Yeah. Just
I
do
just love
both.
Warrnambool though. Warrnamble's so cool. Like,
You can always pick up the last 2 nights of Warrnambool without missing too many days off work.
yeah, I actually drove past the King's Challenge this year
Yeah.
to go to Warrnambool because of the accommodation that we'd
Yeah.
booked. So I actually, yeah, my wife couldn't believe it that we drove past the speedway.
Yeah.
That was I actually had an event on that night. And we
Yeah.
drove straight past it.
That wasn't too bad an event too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went down to the King's Challenge and could turn and come back home again. So
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mm.
My old man told me about like years and years ago. Like I don't know if it's like 80s or what it was, but like he left Adelaide, drove to Warrnambool, watched the meeting, and drove back that night
Yeah.
because they just ran it. Like,
It wasn't
yeah,
just the fact that they just ran it like that. Guys were coming out of the speedway. They were sitting on the 160 all the time. Like, it wasn't
yeah,
just, oh, there's a speed car, we better slow down, or we might get done here. It was just like racing's done. We're in the car. We're going for it.
yeah. He used to tell me about how like Rolly Park had the times in the program for
Yep.
like it'd be like 6:35 solo bikes are on, like 6:42 like sedan, like it was just and it would run to the minute.
Yep. Yep.
Like,
Murray used to be the same as well. But obviously with the cars that are not as robust these days, I guess you could say. If you have a rollover in a sprint car, it could take a bit of time to get out. You have a rollover in a heavy rod, you go, well, push it on wheels, let's go again.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's actually a good way of looking at it. And I suppose too, it's probably not a bad thing too with like sprint cars and stuff too. Like we're sort of starting to take the concussions and
Yeah, yeah.
all that sort of stuff like seriously, and rightfully so as well.
Yeah, there's probably other ways that we should be looking at doing it rather than the stick-on style, but they're going for what avenue they can, and that's what they're going to go with. So yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, we just got to abide by it. So
It might be my last episode if we're talking about that thing. No, I just like so I've played rugby and I follow NRL like probably as much as I do speedway stuff,
Yep.
and it's like the concussion stuff that they're doing makes sense to me, and even to a degree, some of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, why aren't rugby players wearing that device under
Well,
their shirt or something like
that
that. Like it's
some of the well, yeah, rugby players, they're just mean animals. Like they're just, yep, you look like you're knocked out. Or have a seat. You go again tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
but
But even that stuff's gone.
that's right. It's starting to fade
AFL's the
away.
same now
Yeah,
too. They're like weeks now, so it's
definitely.
like
Yep.
yeah. So like from what I understand, if your thingo has gone off, well,
Uh,
it's gone off.
yeah, it's gone off. If it's during a race meeting, um, basically, I think it's sit out or something like that, or go to the doctors and they can either say yes or no. Just turn around and tell them that you threw your helmet on your helmet dropped off the ground, and you go,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm all good, and go buy another one and stick it on, and go racing again.
yeah.
Like,
That's the other thing though. I heard guys have like the mules hit the car too
yeah.
hard and set them off. So it's
Terry
like
Madsen's went off on his plane ride home, so like, how far do you need to
yeah,
do it?
yeah. I don't know. It's a bit
Is it, like I said, it's a rule they put in to make the insurance cheaper, I guess. I don't know, but it's a rule they brought in. We got to abide by it, and it's what it is. There are better ways of doing it, but they're also probably not as cost effective. So,
yeah, yeah. I found it. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
yeah. There are other devices out there that could be used,
Yeah,
and there's other ways of getting the devices we are using that we could be using that, but the way it's been done, we've got to buy them from Speedway Australia, sort of deal.
yeah,
Sprintcar Control Council, I guess you could call it.
yeah, yeah. It's the one of the things that like shitted me with the whole like social media circus that came about it was like so many drivers are up in arms about it, but then drivers would have a GoPro on their lid.
Yeah, well,
It's like, mate, you can't be
there's other,
like, like, come on, like,
yeah,
you know.
that's right.
And like,
yes,
seems to be like it's the trend now. Everyone's got their race receiver on their lid as well.
yeah.
So it's like, well, come on, like, you know,
There's always other ways of looking at things. Like it's just, hey, you're racing, put up with it. Like
yeah,
you could be sitting on the infield because you don't have one, and you can't race because you don't have one.
yeah.
As much as it's controlling as it is, it's just what it is.
Definitely something's needed, but yeah,
Well, I can't remember now. I think USAC have put in a rule that you got to have a G calculator in your car, or is that? No, it might be just Formula One. Formula One just run a G counter in the car. If it reaches a certain amount, well, then you got to go and see the medic. I'm pretty sure.
yeah, right. Have you seen the little fire extinguisher that they've got? Have you seen that like little clip that's all over social media? They've got this like tiny little like 1.5 kilo fire extinguisher in the cockpit with them, but it's like that sprint car one's like quite a little device.
The sprinkler one comes flying out too. So
Yeah. I don't know what are you meant to do when it's
Yeah, well, hey,
that fast. It's like
there's not much you can do. You can try and put as many precautions in place as what you can, but
you look at how high the fences are at the NASCAR tracks and stuff goes through them all over it. It's like
that's right.
I don't know.
The wheel at the Indy this year,
Yeah,
sailed out of there, and
yeah.
hey,
Did you see the one? I can't remember. It was I think it might have been Indiana somewhere. The clump of mud that luckily it hit an empty grandstand seat.
no, I missed that one too.
Man, just a clump of mud. What that? If that was someone sitting there, they would have been. Yeah. Well, I was actually at Mount Gambier one night, and a woman got knocked out by mud.
Yep. I've been sitting in the car at Bordertown watching racing, and it would have been, I don't know, 2 foot bit of clay come flying out, hit the windscreen of the car, like it didn't smash the windscreen. So yeah, it happens. It's dirt racing.
I actually know the story behind the woman who got knocked out, but I don't think I don't want to say it. It's like
Yes, it was dirt.
well, it was dirt, but it was like yeah, maybe I don't know. Well, potentially her husband doesn't know how long before it happened before he realised. So, but yeah, I remember we were sitting there and the red light come on, and we're like looking at the cars, like what's going on, and it was because the ambulance had to leave the infield.
Yep.
So yeah. And then we we're sitting sort of not near it and then seen the paramedic. But yeah, no worse. So
Hey,
I'll never, ever forget. I think it was World Series at Speedway City. And we'd seen like all night this woman who was heavily pregnant.
oh no.
And then it was like feature. It's like 10 laps to go. The husband's got all the gear. And she's holding the belly, like running out. And he's sort of like half looking at the racing, half looking at her.
He had his priorities right.
It's like, oh man, I'd love to find out what ended up happening with that. Then. Yeah, I'll never forget. It's just like, man, that dude's like, he's so pumped, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's 10 laps to go. Like, really?
Cross your legs.
Yeah.
Uh,
The shenanigans.
hey, it's what it is, you know. It's a family sport.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's, yeah. So you keen for Bordertown
Oh,
2.0?
man, like, if you know, if it's half as good as what it is over in the States, you know, we're in for a treat. Definitely. Not much else could be said about it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's not a too bad. Oh, it's only 2 hours from here, is it?
2.5 or something. You know,
Yeah, right.
it's just down the road.
Yeah.
We did 13,500 kilometers one year racing, so you know, it's just down the road.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's just on three from Adelaide, I think, or maybe fifth.
Yeah, three
Three,
and a quarter or
three
something.
and a
It
quarter,
depends on
something.
where you live.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be doing it, so I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't
who
care.
cares?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. It's depends if the show's run early there. Then yeah, won't be looking at accommodation stuff. But yeah, be
it's only yeah. Stop in at Tintinara, grab yourself a couple of drinks, and keep on keeping on.
yeah, yeah. No, I'll leave that one. Yeah, may or may not get places quickly on those sorts of trips.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, no,
No,
no. I'm
definitely not. Got to racing's for the racetrack.
leave it in the restaurant. Yeah. No, I'm keen now. I can't wait for it. So yeah,
No, you know,
these things should be in there.
yeah, you know, like if we can get a slick track, it's going to be unreal. You know, sliding from the bottom to the top, and yeah, it's just going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Running the boards, whatever.
So currently the motor's out, getting
Yeah,
a fresh.
currently the motor's down at Maxwell's, getting a look at, getting new pistons, new valves. So yeah,
So you run Esslinger, don't you?
no Fontana.
Oh, you still at the Fontana?
Still got
Right.
Fontana.
I swear you had an Esslinger.
No way. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say that. No way, but no. The joys of being a sort of semi-budget race team is we're stuck with what we got, and until something goes wrong, we're going to stick with it. And if it does go bang, well, then I'm probably not going to be out for a while.
I don't. Yeah, I honestly thought you had an Esslinger in this.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no, no.
yeah,
So I'm still the old Fontana. Yeah.
yeah, right. It's not doing. It's not like it's miles behind or anything
No,
like
no.
that. Well,
It's still a strong engine for what it is. You know, you got to remember it's 2014 built, so she's not spring chicken anymore. So still goes alright, still runs alright, and keep the maintenance up to it, and last a long time.
yeah. So, like, is this the not the first freshen up you've done on it,
No,
but it's like,
no. Usually after every season, I get it looked at.
yeah,
We were meant to get it rebuilt after last season. We were meant to get new pistons and stuff for it. They didn't rock up in time, so we made a good set out of two sets, and was only meant to do chariots, and then a piston still weren't here, and just with COVID making everything stretch out longer than it should. Um, we made sure everything was right every time we started the car. Basically, checked our leak downs, checked the rockers, checked everything that we could, changed the oil every two shows, just to make it last. And we lasted 48 of the 50 lapper, and the last two laps she started to say goodbye, but stopped it in time, and yeah, managed to get away with just a cracked piston.
yeah. And that's all it was. Didn't yeah, right.
Yeah, so yeah, got very very lucky.
Yeah. Was it hard to shut it off or?
Well, I was watching. It's my own engine, so I can make my own calls basically. And if it was someone else's engine, she would have been shut down quick smart. But I smelt the smell of burning oil and saw the smoke coming off of it, and when she's still running on 4.5 or 3.5, and the oil pressure's still good, temperature's okay. We've got 1 3/4 laps to run here. We'll just sneak it across the bottom, or sneak it around the bottom here, and hope that I can stay in. If it starts to make any bad noises, I'm going to knock it out of gear and call it quits. But we finished in 8th spot, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't think I would have switched it. It's,
You gotta know when to fold them.
yeah.
So um, I had it before where the oil filter's come undone, turning into turn one at Warrnambool in a feature, and smoke's billowing that left side. Knock her out, kill the switch, and hope that you don't damage anything. So yeah,
And just get away with it that time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky so far, touch wood. But I got an idiot light in there, and it comes on if there's something wrong. So yeah,
Yeah, right. I can't believe you managed to spin a filter off and still like save it.
yeah, you can generally pick up on things pretty quick when you got visual vision happening and you can see some smoke coming from somewhere and you sort of look at your gauges and you look at everything and you go, well, that gauge is dropping, kill that, pull it out of gear and roll to the infield and hope that you're not on fire.
Yeah, it's almost I don't know. I suppose in some way it goes against being a racer as well, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, I guess it's the deal of me having, well, me owning my own stuff is like, I want to race next weekend, so
yeah,
I'm going to look after my gear and if I lose a spot because of it, well, then I lose a spot because of it. It means I can race next weekend.
yeah. So you're gonna pull. I keep looking at it. People won't be able to see on the
Nah.
camera. The sprint car's behind the camera.
Yeah,
So
yep.
yeah, you're gonna.
That's only done 6 shows on the engine and a practice run, so that's still good. Valve's still run right, leak down's still good, so the
Yeah.
old Mopar, she's going to go again.
So you're gonna pull that out. No.
No, just run it next season.
Oh no, no. I mean, so you're gonna pull the
Oh,
car out? Sorry.
I'll
Yeah.
pull the car out next
Yeah.
season. Yeah, yeah, definitely. If it all permits, obviously not a cheap exercise to do. Even running on second-hand rubber and you know second-hand everything, basically, apart from fuel because you can't really catch the fumes. Um, we'll be out there, just do a couple of laps and just have some fun with it. Hopefully, just get it seems to be really good to grasp speed, if you know what I mean. Like, seems to sharpen your reaction times up a little bit. You know,
Are they two different pointing again? Are they two different types of speed?
oh, definitely two
Like,
different types of speed,
yeah.
two different driving styles, two different feelings, two different everything. Like excuse me. You, yeah, it's hard to explain, but
Go on.
you jump out of this thing or something like, that and you go race that, and you go, well, throw that knowledge away tonight. We'll just go with that one there, put that into our brain, and go, well, hopefully that's close enough, and get out for your hot laps, and you go, well, you turned in too early there, you idiot, and next lap, and you go, well, that was a little bit better, but you're still gonna have to be harder on it to get it in there because you got the wing on top, remember? So yeah, like it's just getting around the hot lap factor and time trials, and then by the time feature comes, oh, excuse me, we're not too bad, like we're racing around mid pack, or well, we shouldn't really call it mid pack, but back markers I should call us. Last show out, and we were making pretty good gains. So,
If you had to choose,
as in,
sprint car or speed car,
oh, speedcar any day,
any day.
any day. I don't care what anybody says. Um, if you want to go racing and legit racing, where it's driver, car, and setup, that's the way to go. If you want to rely on wings and aero and go fast, well then sprint car's the way to go.
Yeah, right. That's a yeah. That's an interesting take.
Mm.
The comments could get.
Oh, I don't care.
Nah, it's
I
yeah,
call it for what it is. Like if you want to have fun racing, where you can slide people constantly and not have to rely on the track to be where it's at to be able to do it in a sprint car, and rely on someone to make a bobble. Speed cars where it's at, man. Like, yeah, it's just what it is.
yeah. They're oh man, they're so entertaining. Like from a crowd perspective as well. Like
So
that's
you get a good night's racing in. Like, you get some of the best drivers in Australia there. Or you don't even need to be the best drivers in Australia. You look at mid pack or back and stuff like that. There's still guys racing hard for each other, sliding side by side. Round the outside, whatever. Like it's everywhere on the track when you jump in one of these sprint cars. You sort of get your dominant people out in front, and might make a pass. Once or twice. It's only sort of when they come to lap traffic, it sort of gets semi interesting on lockdown track, and then it's what it is.
yeah. Even like some of the stuff that I've seen in person and on the stream and stuff too. Like like Stewart and Caden, like in
Mm.
Sydney, and like Jackson and stuff like that. Like,
Yep.
and some of the like racing that those guys have put on
Oh,
between themselves is
that
like the best that's like ever happened. Like,
that's
period.
that's
Like,
right. Like you get the top five drivers in a speed car at the track, and you can throw a blanket over them, and you go, well, man, that's what I paid me money for.
yeah, and they're
So
not like necessarily like the biggest budget guys that are out there
no,
either. Like,
no,
they're not.
definitely not.
I know that like like their cars look specky, but it's the
Ah,
they're not. It's not like they're got massive
no,
sprint car budgets or
no, that's
massive.
right.
They don't have massive haulers and stuff like that either. Like,
Don't need them with
yeah,
the speed car.
yeah,
That's
that's
the
the
beauty
great
of it.
thing.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
next
you save on tire costs, you save on fuel costs, you save on engine rebuild costs, you save on pretty much everything. Race the speed car.
yeah. I think you only need the hauler if you're like Keith with 5 of them
Well,
or 15 of them sometimes.
roll into Montpellier and there's four Keith Coons transporters there, and I think, oh, this is cool, like. And then one of the cars get hurt, and he just lifts up the lift and goes to the top room and drags another one back and puts it on the lift. Down you go.
Yeah.
You're in the spare car tonight.
Isn't it funny how people think like we're just racing dirt, and then you look at like his setup, like his like not like factory's the wrong word, like race shop.
Yep.
Like you look at how professional that like shop is from top to bottom. Like
Well,
not just
I
racing
can't
dirt.
remember. I think I'm not sure if it's Joe Gibbs' old workshop or it's one of the NASCAR team's old workshop that he's moved into now.
Yeah.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah, I think I counted in that crazy photo. There's like 32 midgets in there or something like
Yep.
that. Like, and there's guys that work there full time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Kaz from Tasmania, he's over there, and yeah, it's crazy.
yeah,
Just building shit.
it's not just like dirt racing when it gets to that point.
Oh, you got to remember, like a lot of people see speed car racing or midget racing, call it, over there as a entry point into bigger and better things like NASCAR or
Yeah.
sprint cars or anything like over there. So you got your young kids coming into there, like your Jade at the Vision, or can't say that, sorry, but she picked up a Keith Coons ride. I'm pretty sure pretty and simply because Toyota wanted her in there. So like, it's what it is.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy. You can call it a 15-year-old kid could go there, and next thing you know, they're racing NASCAR and sprint cars and everything.
yeah, he's definitely the. So I heard some people call him the star maker.
Yeah.
That's his like his nickname to some people, and it
Yeah.
like is true. 'Cause
Well,
look at what's come through there.
That's
He's like,
right. Like he hasn't had average people come through there. Like, a lot of people have succeeded once they've been there.
yeah,
So, mind you, obviously they were good enough to start with to get there, but yeah,
yeah, he's like sort of taken him to the next level though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he's
Oh,
just
yeah. I'm not sure whether it's pep talks or whether it's just the cars or what it is, but everybody seems to come into there pretty good.
yeah, yeah. Like surely all the gears like all top notch and everything like that, and it's like but and that's still the great thing about our sport though is that the local racer who's on a budget can take it to them on any
That's
given night too, and you do see it.
I see it
Like,
quite regularly.
Yeah.
Like not just over there, here as well. Every now and then, you get the right track conditions and the driver's on and the car's right and stuff like that. Somebody can come through and you don't expect them to pick
Yeah.
up the win. So,
yeah, and you're never going to see that in any other form of.
not really. No, it's only
Like-
when
You're not going to see that in like V8 supercars. You're not going to see someone come from the back to the front or
you may do because of pit stops or time penalties or something like that. But
yeah.
video we don't have any of that, so it's
Yeah,
great.
you're never going to see them like just sort of run around the top as such, and
No,
and
that's
go
right.
for
Get,
it.
get on the marbles or on the dirty road part, and you just end up in the wall.
Yeah, and that like I don't know. It's like to me like, and not that these things are relatable in a sense of like road going stuff, but like V8 supercars is just there's no relation to what's in the showrooms with it.
Not
Like-
anymore, no.
like,
Like,
it's-
the win on Sunday, sell on Monday sort of deal's gone out the window, and it's now just similar chassis with different bodies and different engines.
Yeah, I think could be wrong. It's not my wheelhouse. So I
Not
could be
mine
wrong,
either.
but I think you can convert the bodies in about a couple of
Oh,
hours.
geez. Yeah.
Like so, you turn from a Mustang to a Camaro in a couple of hours. So I'm
We can turn it from a maximum to a cool in hours, you know.
I could be totally wrong on that, and I do not care.
Yeah, that's
So,
it. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, it's definitely like, I don't know, just pitchman does nothing for me. Sorry.
Ah,
Well,
it
sorry,
has its place, you know, like every sort of form of motorsport. But
actually, I'll rephrase that. Pavement and sprint cars, and my favorite pavement midgets.
yep,
Pavement pavement midgets. Oh man,
they're nutters.
they are so cool. I don't know what. Just they sit that little bit lower, and
A little bit longer.
yeah, they just look so cool, man.
Yep,
Like when you look at stuff like what Jerome Rodella
yep.
builds, it's just like, oh man, that is such a
Nice.
sexy race car. Like, and all the like little bits and pieces that
Oh,
he does it too. Like,
that's right. You know, like and yeah, that's most people sort of do that to their own cars, but not to that extent. Yeah,
yeah. The only other thing that I like too is silver crowns. I love silver crowns,
yeah,
man. I
yeah.
love them. I don't know. I don't know.
Big booties.
Yeah, it's because I'm an ass man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it.
I don't know why. I just love them. Like, and I think like, especially the dirt stuff, like seeing
Yeah.
the endurance on dirt like
It's
that.
not just that, you know, like I think it was Eldora last year or the year before or something like that. You know, you get to the last sort of 20 laps and there's guys sliding each other still. You know, like
Those big
in
things.
those big
Yeah,
things,
it's
you know,
crazy,
like
isn't it?
smacking the
Yeah,
wall down. Like,
yeah. No,
yeah,
I don't know why. I froth on them, eh?
yeah,
Like, yeah, not quite so much on the pavement,
yeah,
but yeah, I definitely love pavement midgets.
yeah,
Is where it's at.
yeah.
And man, they scream, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Have you ever seen them? Like,
I haven't seen them live or anything. I've seen a couple of, you know, races, but yeah,
yeah.
not live. So one thing that I want to try and get to, but yeah, we'll see.
So you want to have a crack on pavement?
I don't want to race him. I
Oh, it's just go.
uh,
Sure. I don't know. I wonder if that stuff's like harder to crack into.
I,
Like in terms of like, I can't imagine there's as many rental rides and that stuff as there would be
I
dirt.
don't know if they're allowed to. I don't know if there's like rules and regs on, you know, whether you can just rock up as a novice and go straight into them, or whether you have to go through some training before you can get on there.
I think they're like pretty strict in
Mm,
the time cut off with them.
okay.
Like if you're not within a certain time at
Yep.
the pole,
Don't bother coming.
you're just gone. Like you
Yep.
just pack up and
Yep.
go.
Qualify.
Like, which
Hey, it
it's
works.
harsh, but it works. Like,
That's right.
that's probably why you see like a field of just 24 like stellar cars sort of thing.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah, no, interesting. I wonder if that. No, no, I'm gonna leave that one alone as well. All right, Rob. Well, all the best next season,
No, thank you.
and yeah, we'll definitely see you around the traps.
Yeah, well, you know, hopefully we get the engine back in the next couple of weeks and we can start putting it together again and we'll finish checking out everything else and put it together and hit the track start of the season and
Because what Murray Bridge will kick off around October or something like that.
I think first weekend in October or something, I think
Yeah,
it is. And then I don't think they've released their dates properly yet.
they haven't at all. Apparently,
Ah, it'll happen.
watch out for that 50 lap
Yeah,
event.
that's right. You know, it's usually the last weekend in September or first weekend in
Yeah,
October, so it'll be somewhere around there.
yeah. So we're not too far away.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. And then we'll go from there. But going to try and get to Perth for the Aussie title, and we'll try and do speedcar week, and we'll see what we can do from everywhere else.
All right, easy done. Thanks very much, man.
No problem at all. Anytime. Cheers.